welcome back to Spurs Live. I'm joined by co-hosts Josh and Matt. How are we doing, lads?
Very good.
Excited.
Excited is a word we're going to be using today a lot. It's the North London derby. The rivals, the scums, Arsenal. Look, lads, it's going to be a big game. Arguably the tightest North London derby we've got to experience in the past couple of years. Matt, what are your thoughts on the upcoming fixture? And how much does this resonate with you? In terms of this rivalry, how much does this mean to you to beat Arsenal?
I despise Arsenal. I'm sorry. I said to you earlier, Josh, when I was a kid, when I was 8, 9 years old, Arsenal were my second favourite football team, which is an absolute sin to admit as a Tottenham fan. I'm sorry, but they played really good football. I thought I really enjoyed their players. I like their football. And over the last 10, 15 years, they've just morphed into this horrible. They've got the worst fan base. I really dislike Arteta. I think he's probably one of the most dislikable people on the planet. I don't know if you saw his interview the other day when they asked him about number one, which was a pretty fair question considering he's got Raya and Ramsdale. So they're like, oh, are we seeing a new number one? And Arteta just gave this, just the worst, most conceited response where he was just like, we've got 11 players on the pitch.
He's such a smart ass with the media.
Oh, I hate it. Honestly, Arteta, but I'm nervous about it. And I think the reason I'm so nervous is because we have a very new progressive Tottenham team and we have been playing well. And we're under it's Ange Ball. So we're playing our new Ange Ball, which is great. We've played really well in these opening games. We take it to teams and I don't see the North London derby being any different. I think Ange is going to play his way and he's basically just going to try and outplay Arsenal. But I do feel the pressure's on Arsenal.
Well, I think you need to feel a bit nervous coming to this game because form goes out of the window. We saw last night Arsenal beat PSV 4-0. A masterclass from Arsenal, let's be honest.
I'm sorry, they're playing PSV.
Yeah, but also look at Tottenham then. Tottenham also go out are thrashing teams this season. I mean, the form now going into North London derby is out the window. It's fight.
No, I understand that, but I would argue that every single team we faced, including Bournemouth and Sheffield United, are better teams than PSV Eindhoven.
I don't know about that one, Matt, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
Right, who have they got? Who have they got that you would?
I wouldn't say it's who. I wouldn't say it's who they got. I would say it's a chemistry as a team. They are a top team. They're not in the Champions League for no reason. They're not in the Champions League for no reason.
Well, they are in the Champions League because they finished top of. I mean, I'm not going to lie, right? Steven Bergwijn struggled in the Premier League.
He's struggling at Ajax. The Ajax fans want him out. He's not doing well at Ajax.
Well, he was doing well when he first went back, and he was doing well before he left. He was an absolute world beater, and then he struggled in the Premier League. But no, right. Name me a player at PSV. Name me a player at PSV that's getting in a top 10. That's getting a starting place in a top 10 side in the Premier League.
Top 10 is very different. You referenced Bournemouth and Sheffield United. That's very, very different standards. Very different. The top 10 in the Premier is a joke at the minute. It's arguably the strongest it's been in decades, this top 10.
Okay, fine. Name a PSV player that's walking into the Bournemouth team.
Luke de Jong.
I mean, I don't know if he walks a bit. He could get into the Bournemouth side.
He could fight for that striker position easily.
He could fight for it, but is he really starting over Solanke? Doubt it.
I personally would probably play 2 strikers up front if I was Bournemouth.
No, we spent a good portion of the summer trying to take PSV's coach, Arne Slot.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, lads. Let's try focus on the
Honest,
Arsenal
let's
for a
move on because
second.
we're 7 minutes
Yeah,
in and we haven't even talked about the game yet.
Josh. Look, Arsenal. As we can see from Matt, he is. It's fair to say he's a little bit nervous for the game, but he's also excited because it's Tottenham. We're all excited for Tottenham playing unbelievable form, and he, as Matt says, this game is less pressure on Tottenham, but more pressure on Arsenal. How do you see this game going realistically? Looking at in terms of Arsenal have not kept. I don't think they've kept a clean sheet in the Premier League yet. They have been scoring goals. They are what they're like fourth, I think, in the Premier League, fourth, fifth in the Premier League. They're doing well. I know it's only 5 games in, but they're doing well. They've got a strong team. What are your thoughts, and how do you think the game will go realistically?
I mean, yeah, they've had a not as good a start as they did last season. I don't think. I think they're one of the other unbeaten sides. I think it's us, City, them, and Liverpool, the only unbeaten
Correct.
sides left in the league.
Correct.
And you'd argue that we've played a lot better football than them so far this season, but we've also had a much kinder run. I think, to be honest, I think if you look at the Opta stats for who's had the easiest start, it's us in Chelsea. At that point, I think certain players have struggled. Saka hasn't looked the same as he usually does. Obviously, Timber was out straight away, and defensively they looked a bit not all over the place, but they're leaking goals at points. And I think David Raya is a big acquisition for them because I think Ramsdale's a big reason for that. I'm not too high on Ramsdale, but I do really like David Raya, and that one's really going to sting if he pulls through for them on the Sunday, considering we should have had him. But I'm cautiously optimistic compared to last year. I think expect it to be a really open game because Ange won't compromise on his philosophy, and Arteta's at home. And Arsenal predominantly in this fixture, the home team wins. That's just how it is in this derby. The home team usually wins. Very rarely do the away team get anything. I think the last time we won there was 2012, Uniscabal, 2013.
What the last time we won in the Emirates?
The last
Yeah,
time
yeah.
Emirates.
It was definitely a Uniscabal winner. I think it was 2012. Definitely about a decade ago that we won there. We never
was
anything.
last time. I wrote the last time we won. The last time Tottenham won at the Emirates. Sorry, lads. This is terrible. What is this?
We can edit it out.
2011.
11. Yeah, there you go.
Comeback victory 3-2. Yeah.
There you go. So rarely does the away side get anything. And I'm not going to be the one that's judging. I'm not going to take away this performance or this fixture and the result of this fixture and let it define our season. I've seen a lot of people saying that this is going to show who Spurs really are. This fixture does not show who Spurs really are.
Okay, so I think yes and no. I think if we lose the game, then realistically, I think, all right, we lost the game. Doesn't matter, right? We're back to Ange Ball. Crack on, okay? But if we beat Arsenal and Liverpool in these next 2 games, we're winning the title.
Stop it.
No.
I doubt we're going to win. If we beat Arsenal and Liverpool in these next 2 games, then I guarantee we are going to have a strong top 4 finish. Maybe third.
Does it have to be based on if we beat these 2 teams? Because, Tottenham are a strong team. If we beat the Brightons, the Villas, and obviously below them, we could have a chance of, United are, I'm going to say this now, are this season are 3-6 points. They are 3-6 points. We beat them once, we will beat them again. But I think, like Matt says, the real question is that Arsenal Liverpool side. But Matt, I want to ask you more specifically in this Arsenal side. Which players stand out for you in this Arsenal team? You got the likes of Raya, which Josh mentioned earlier. If he pulls off a save.
I'm not gonna lie, right? David Raya, quality keeper. Ramsdale, quality keeper. But I'm not worried about them. They're beatable. Okay. Saliba is a top quality defender. I think Saliba is quality. But again, I think we've got the pace, the creativity to work around it. Obviously, Thomas Partey's out at the moment, isn't he? So he's not playing.
Correct. Same with Martinelli.
Martinelli's out,
Is that
is he?
confirmed though yet? Is that confirmed that he's out?
I'm pretty sure he's out. I can fact check it, but continue.
To be honest, mate, I'm. It doesn't even matter because that boy Trossard for them at the minute is on fire.
Different gravy.
He is serious. The fact that we missed out another one we missed out on, he is serious at the minute.
He's a good player. He's a good player. So I think Trossard is good, but then bizarrely, Trossard isn't always a starter.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, like because Trossard's great, but he's not always a starter. Obviously you've got Saka, obvious.
He's played a lot of minutes. He's played well against PSV. He's played a lot of minutes in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah,
and a lot of Arsenal fans I've been hearing murmurs saying that
I'm
he's
not
not
gonna lie. I think the amount he's played is maybe catching up with him because I don't think he's as good as he was last season.
No, I'm looking forward to his duel with Destiny. Really looking forward to it.
Who do you think's going to win that, by the way, that duel? Destiny or Saka?
Obviously, Destiny. He's the best player in the world.
I love that boy.
Look, Josh. So Matt. So who's your player to watch for this game? You saying Saliba?
No. So I literally. I think Saliba's great. I think Saka has his moments. The thing with Saka is he can be very, very quiet and then literally just get a ball in his left foot and ping it in the top corner. Like he is that sort of player who kind of disappears. You don't really see anything of him, and then he can just have a moment of magic. So that's
he's like that kind of Hakim Ziyech of Chelsea back around a year or 2 ago. You know,
I'm
saying that finesse shot of his. That finesse shots of his.
I'm a Tottenham fan, but even
that's offensive.
I'm not gonna lie.
No. Listen, you don't get much better,
and that is
you don't get much better finesse shots than Hakim Ziyech with that left-footed shots of his curling top left-hand corner, right corner. Let's be serious.
Yeah, which he does twice a season.
No. He is class at these shots. Same thing goes with Mahrez. Mahrez and Ziyech, both with their left foot curlers.
Mahrez, right? I'll let you get away with Mahrez. Ziyech is offensive.
The point is that it's regarding what you're saying about, how he can be quiet. But like that's one of the most dangerous things in this Tottenham team, is that if we let our head go, not mark Saka in terms of sure he's having a quiet game, but he can bang.
I feel like we don't have the lapses in concentration we used to have. I feel like Ange has built a team which has high energy and it's constant, and I really love that about Ange. Declan Rice, good player, but I don't think he's not a threat. He's just a solid player. I think realistically, the player to watch, and it's a very, very obvious choice, Martin Odegaard.
He's mine as well. It is so obvious. He's the linchpin. I think him and Saka are the only undroppable players in that team.
Martin Odegaard is like, I saw something on Twitter earlier and it was like, oh, who's better, Bruno Fernandes or Martin Odegaard? And I was like, I didn't comment because I was like, as a Tottenham fan, it pains me to say Martin Odegaard. But the reality
I feel like it also depends, though. If you want to go into that conversation with that Bruno Fernandes and Odegaard, I feel like it depends. What you look for in an attacker. Because if you look for an attacker, someone to hold the ball in that midfield and then create something and not kind of like be weak on the ball, then I'd say Martin Odegaard. But then if you look for that one player to sit back, like a Toni Kroos who sits back but creates immense, he's just unbelievable on the ball. It's Bruno Fernandes.
Players, though, but if Martin Odegaard plays badly, Arsenal play badly. Yeah. He completely dictates everything.
Exactly. Exactly. Josh, who's your player to watch?
Yeah, Martin Odegaard is my player to watch, 100%. I think he can genuinely, he's one of the players on that pitch on Sunday that can define who wins that game. If he has a worldie, Spurs will really struggle to get anything out of that game. Despite how good I think our defence are and our midfield, he's a pretty special player, and he's 2 years younger than Madders and Bruno, who's been compared a lot to recently. I think that's just more of one of those things with social media. But he is a special kind of player.
I think.
Yeah.
I think the duel between Basuma and Odegaard is going to be really important on the weekend.
Yeah.
I think Basuma is going to have to own Martin Odegaard. If we want to get anything from the game, either Odegaard has a bad game or Basuma plays the best he's played all season. And that's saying something because he's been fantastic all season, but he's going to have to take it up another level against Odegaard.
Yes, totally agree. I mean, the way I see these games going, and I've said this with many Arsenal fans, I said Tottenham's game is based on their midfield / Sonny. I know we can say how great Van de Ven and Romero are. They are amazing, but the game isn't based on them. The game is based on Bissouma, Madders, and Sonny. That's just the way
don't forget Sarr. He's really important.
That's the thing. I would say Sarr as well, but I feel like Sarr is exceptional. Nevertheless, he's exceptional. But I feel like he's that cherry on a cake. He's like the extra bit, which is just superb that we'd love to have. But I don't feel like if we don't have Sarr, we're gonna lose the game. I feel like if we don't have Sonny, if we don't have Madders, or if we don't have Bissouma, we're losing the game. Josh, you want to say something?
Yeah, but do you not think though, Sarr? I don't know if Kai Havertz is going to start, and you can laugh at me for saying Kai Havertz is a threat. Pape Matar Sarr is probably the most adept midfielder we have to deal with Kai Havertz. His physical presence, his height, his ability to win duels. I think he's going to be really important if Arsenal play Kai Havertz in dealing with him, because we can all laugh at Kai Havertz and what he's been or not been this season, but Spurs are quite a small side in midfield. I think it's going to be really important that we don't underestimate someone like a Kai Havertz, because an ex-Chelsea player, you can just see it coming to bite us. And I think he played a bit better against PSV. I think someone like Sarr, his work in that midfield, especially off the ball, is going to be really crucial, especially away from home.
I agree. I think Sarr, like you're talking about him being the cherry on the cake. I disagree. I think Sarr is integral. I think Sarr is integral. I think the work he puts in, his physicality, the way he plays, if him and Basuma come out all guns blazing and dictate that midfield, then we win that game.
Okay. So quick question here, very very quickly, yes or no? If Sonny starts, if Sonny's dropped somehow for the game, will we win? Very very simple. Will we win?
Potentially. Okay.
In my opinion, I don't think we're going to win. Josh, what is your thoughts? Do we win if Son's dropped?
I can't see a world in which Sonny's dropped, but
is it a big effect if Son's dropped?
Why would he be dropped though?
No, I'm saying hypothetically, because the reason why I'm bringing the reason no listen, let me get this. The reason why I'm saying
I've got Josh here going, no, but it's like hypothetical, and you're just there going, yeah, but it's ridiculous hypothetical.
I'm talking about the reason I'm saying this is because I feel like if Son has dropped, I feel like it's a massive let go. If Bissouma's dropped, massive let go. Madders, massive let go. I feel like if Sarr has dropped, it's a big let go, but it's not something that I would dictate a game based on. I wouldn't say he's the game based on.
I actually disagree with Ange Ball and the way we get Maddison on the turn, feeding the wide players, right? I actually think that losing Son is less of a problem than losing Sarr, personally.
Well, I completely disagree. Fair enough.
No, that's fine. But I feel that the way we are set up to play and the way we do and the way we attack. I mean, look at us this season, right? How many different goal scorers have we had?
I get where you're coming from.
Right? We've had so many different goal scorers because of the way the team is set up to play. It's not about having one player that just scores all the goals. Okay? We're set up in a different way. So I honestly think, all right, we put Richarlison instead of he got his first goal last week. which
Well, that's
turned.
got to be the talking point, hasn't it? Surely we've got to discuss. Richarlison came on and got a goal and assist. Are we going back to Son on the left and Richarlison up front for this game?
No,
Son had a quiet
I
week.
don't think so. I think Son's time as a winger is done.
I don't disagree, but I just wonder what Ange's thinking is does he just let Richarlison ride this wave, especially in a derby? Richarlison loved the derby back when he was at Everton.
I think he's going
he
to
won
be
us
on
a
a
penalty
bench.
in this fixture last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
I think Richarlison's going to be on a bench. I think
It's a tough
if
one.
he came on,
But then
he scored a goal. But
I think
yeah, go on.
I think Richarlison, like given his love for the derby and everything, I think he's the take Son off after 70 minutes and bring Richarlison on for 20, 30 minutes and let him come on with his energy to dictate it. He's going to have more of a presence later in the game when we're chasing. He's got a much better aerial presence than Son does, right? So when we're putting crosses in the box, we've got Richarlison in there. I honestly think we start Son through the middle, Richarlison on the bench, bring him on with 20 minutes to play. And I think he can, like, at the moment, like, look, it might change depending on how he goes, getting goals and so on and so forth. But at the moment, for me, I think he's an impact player.
Yeah, 100% agree. I feel like he's like a Perisic player. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Perisic has done his ACL.
Perisic has done his ACL now. We'll get on to a couple of these injury points and a couple of breaking news coming up in just have to ask Josh. This striker role, this front three is a big myth to this Tottenham team. Let's be honest. You got we're blessed with attacking options. Brennan Johnson, Decky, Richie, Sonny, Manor, Perisic up till now. What's your front three going into this game? Are you giving Brennan Johnson a chance, or are you keeping Decky on? Are you? No, I'm saying, are you big on Richie?
I think you've got to, keep Kulusevski in that role. You have to. I think
100% agree.
Scoring the winner, I actually don't think he was bad against Sheffield United. I thought he was actually one of our better creative outlets. Just again, that final ball is just doing my head in with him at the minute. He just really can't get that final ball or assist right at the minute, which is frustrating. But in this derby, I expect he'll have so much. This game is going to be so open. He's going to have so much more space than he did against a Sheffield United or a Bournemouth to get into and run at. And we know what he's like when he dribbles. He dribbles like a weirdo. He's so physical. He just pushes people out of the way. He doesn't even try and dribble around them. So I think he'll thrive off of that sort of thing, especially with Zinchenko inverting, like we know he will. Zinchenko is one of the players that if he starts, he's there to be got at by a player like Kulusevski. Physically dominates him, 100%. I think you've got to start him. Son, you have to, at this point, I think he has to start up front still. He was very quiet against Sheffield United, but, ultimately, if I trust anyone trying to get him behind, and I think as a leader, he has to be on that pitch anyway. And then that left side, Solomon, I think, just in terms of, obviously, Perisic is now out with his ACL, which is, a lot bigger than I actually think some people give it credit for. He brings something so different to the team, especially with his set pieces. It was his corner that allowed Richie to equalise against Sheffield United. I think people forget.
I really like Perisic, and I'm really glad that Ange is playing him back on the left wing like he plays for Croatia, rather than at left back.
It makes more sense.
Obviously, he was moved there by Conte at Inter, wasn't he?
Yeah, but so I think that's the front three for me, and then Brennan Johnson. I think everyone's seen on social media. Does anyone else just get Delhi vibes from that touch and finish? That it was beautiful on the weekend. It was a real shame for him. I thought his cameo was really positive. I thought it was a really bright, positive cameo from Brennan Johnson.
It reminds me of the goal Ali scored.
Against Chelsea. It was against Chelsea.
Yeah. The one that just clipped the inside of the post.
Send it over.
The little clip and then...
The one that just clipped the inside of the post. That one where he just pulls it down and slots it.
But now, this is a big opportunity for someone like Bryna Gil. If he wants that left wing, there's a backup spot now in that attack for someone to take. You're looking at someone like Bryna Gil who hasn't got minutes, or it might be really early. And I think honestly, if they do get called up, they'll get no minutes anyway. But I don't know if anyone watched the under-21s game. You got Velis, Consett, Bell, Langston won't get in there. But who am I forgetting?
Dorrington.
Dorrington,
no. There's another striker. Begins with M. Mundell. Is it Mundell? Not Mundell.
Mundell.
No,
No, it
Mundell's
is.
gone.
It is.
I'm gonna have to look this up because it's doing
hang
my head
on.
in. Because he scored his Sunset Bell and someone else scored a brace.
I know
Well, I can't remember.
exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's Spanish, I think he is.
No, we got Santiago, but that's not who I'm
Hang
talking
on.
about.
Not Alejo Vélez.
We'll have to edit this out. But it's
Lancashire.
fine.
Donnelly.
Jamie Donnelly.
William
Yeah, Jamie Donnelly.
Donnelly.
Jamie
Where
Donnelly.
is?
You said it began with an M.
I thought it did. No, I was thinking about Mundell, but it's not Mundell.
Yeah, I was like, Donnelly, nah.
No, it's not. No, yeah, Jamie Donnelly and Sunset Bell both getting braces. So does one of them get that sort of the minutes that not minutes, but does that get that extra spot on the bench? But I think if Bryan Gil's ever going to get in the team, it's now. If he's ever going to get in that squad, he's a one-on-one specialist on the wing. He can go inverted like Ange sort of likes. This is his chance of what I think this is make or break at this point for Bryan Gil at Spurs. So I'd like to see
yeah.
Is he fully recovered from his injury now?
I think he's back training. I just don't think he's he's making squads. But with Perisic out, there's a spot there for grabs.
Also, apparently Eric Dyer was also injured for a period amount of time. That's why he wasn't selected to the squad. But look, lads, talking about injuries, Matt, I'm going to come to you with a couple of news. So just bear with me now. All right. So we'll start off. Obviously, I'm just going to fly through with just a couple of news. Number one is so I got my phone out. I'm just reading news. Perisic, obviously ACL out for about 6 months. So March, April he'll be back. And the latest news from Matt Law, he says Fabio Paratici has been working as a consultant for Tottenham Hotspur during the summer, but that arrangement is also likely to now end. So pick whatever you want. What have you got to say regarding those two news regarding the Perisic injury and the Fabio Paratici sacked? Yeah.
I think the Perisic injury is he's not one of our starting 11. So it's not like, oh no, we've lost our starting attacking midfielder. Do you know what I mean? I think if we lost James Maddison, it would be a bigger effect on us. But then having said that, I feel like Kulusevski is the player to fit into that attacking midfielder role. I don't think he needs to stay on the wing. I think Kulusevski could debutant for Maddison. Personally, I think he's like, you look at his creativity, look at him on the ball. He's not an out-and-out pace winger. Brennan Johnson, on the other hand, was the second fastest player in the Premier League last year. Right? Brennan Johnson has that out-and-out pace, and that's what we want on the wings. Solomon has got the pace. Bryan Gil has got the pace. So I think Kulusevski could potentially come in. But no, I do think that losing Perisic is a big loss for the team because of what he adds, what he brings in. We've seen it in other games. Like, okay, fine, he's one to play out the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. But what he does is he just adds quality and a level-headedness that he's got. He's got the age. He's got the maturity. And let's be honest, his final ball is probably the best in our team.
He definitely is. Outside of Maddison, I think easily got the best final ball.
Oh, unbelievable. Like Kulusevski, when he pulls it back on his left foot and puts it to the far post, it's a good ball and he does it. But I think Perisic has just got a greater range of passing and crossing. So losing Perisic is a massive loss. Massive loss.
Yeah,
agreed.
100% agree. What about the Fabio Paratici? What are your thoughts on that now? Do you think that was a correct move from Tottenham Hotspur not to indulge in that?
I'm going to be honest. At the end of the day, it was always going to happen.
Yeah.
Like the reality is, it was always going to happen. Okay, it's happened. Obviously, more surprisingly, is we lost
Gabbiadini.
Yes, that is far more of a surprise.
Yeah.
But then
Well. Scott
I
Scott
don't-
Munn now starts today. He starts his job now today.
Well, I
Scott
don't
Munn.
think any
So
of this is a coincidence. I think this.
but then it could be linked. So we've got our new director of football starting, and maybe as he's come in, he's gone, look, I want my own scouts.
yeah.
Like I don't know. There's been no press release. There's been nothing to say why or anything like that. So at the moment we're all in the dark on it.
Exactly.
But I think Gabardini has been good. So it is a bit of a shock. I think Paratici, it was always
good as well. I think he's been good. It's just a shame because some of the signs he made has been good.
No, he has been good, and I think if he hadn't had all these issues with the FA,
he'd still be here. But
then, quite frankly, this wouldn't have happened. But
yeah,
unfortunately, he has had those issues, which makes it inevitable that we're always going to part ways with him eventually.
Yeah. Josh, what are your thoughts on really the news that we've just mentioned? Fabio Paratici, Perisic, and maybe add a bit of Scott Munn in there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered the Perisic news, but with Paratici, I mean, I was annoyed at Spurs for hiring him in the first place because this wasn't new news to anyone. His problems in Italy. Because Paolo Nedved had been already banned from Italian football for the same sort of thing, so we knew that sort of Juventus hierarchy was all in trouble. So it does annoy me that Spurs didn't do their homework, or essentially either way, if they either didn't do their homework or didn't care enough when appointing Paratici. I think that was more of a Conte thing, though, that they just wanted Conte that badly, and they knew he had a good relationship with Paratici. But actually, looking back at it, most of Paratici's signings have been really good, especially the ones that he had that massive haul from Italy: Bentancur, Decky, Romero, Vicario.
I got the list exactly here. With the list, it's Romero, Sarr, Bentancur, Bissouma, Udogi, Vicario, Kulusevski, Van de Ven, Madison, Johnson, Porro, and Royale Emerson. I mean, it's fair to say.
Pretty much all hits. He was really good. It's a massive shame, but it's also just now, like Matt said, it's really confusing. I've never known a situation where we're coming into October time. Scott Munn's now obviously started his role, but we still don't know who our new director of football is. Like, I've never heard a situation like it before. It's so confusing. It must be confusing for someone like Ange behind the scene.
Yep.
And Ange said in the fan forum that we didn't get all of our targets come the end of the window. And you just wonder if this sort of situation with the director of football and the scouts, now that Gabbiadini shockingly left the club, whether there were disagreements on targets, and maybe this is another reason why we didn't get out the players that we should have done, quite frankly, is because we had all this going on in the background. We couldn't focus on getting the players out the club that we needed to.
Yeah, no, fair points. I feel like with regards to the players we could have signed towards the end, I feel like it was a bit rushed. We were looking at so many targets towards the end. They just probably couldn't get to agreement. But look, lads, very, very quickly, let's kind of summarize the show and just give us a nice something to watch for in the Arsenal versus Tottenham game, and your score prediction. I wanna hear your thoughts, because I can't lie, this league is looking pretty shocking. Game week 5, we didn't decide, we didn't get our score predictions in. So, and right now Matt is leading us by 3 goals, 3 points. So look, lads, Matt, what is your score prediction for the North London derby versus the Scums? Don't think about the league table. Think about the actual game, yeah?
Okay. Right now, I'm going with my heart and not my head.
Go for it.
2-0 Tottenham.
2-0 Tottenham?
No, not in a million years. I'd love that to be not in a million years.
All right.
No, I'll revise that. 2-1 Tottenham.
Okay, fine. Okay, 2-1 Tottenham.
No, fair enough. I think they'll get a goal, but 2-1 Tottenham.
2-1 Tottenham. Josh, what are your thoughts? And your score predictions?
So I bet you predict a win as well. Yeah, you're both liars. You're both absolute liars. If I offered you a point right now, you'd bite my hand off. You'd bite my hand off.
Absolutely, mate. I'm not saying I wouldn't. Right?
Yeah.
The point is, I very openly said to you, I'm letting my heart lead me and not my head. My head tells me that we're either going to lose 2-1 or draw 1-1. That's what my head's telling me, but my heart is hoping for a 2-1 victory.
Josh, because my score prediction is going to be a bit more towards Matt. I'm seeing. Josh, what are your score predictions coming into the game?
Lads, I'm really worried. I'm really worried. I'm going to say 2-2. I think it's going to be a really open game. I'm going to say 2-2, but the one caveat, as much as like I am worried and stuff, going into this game, I have way more sort of, not expectation, but I feel like way more confident in our ability to get a result than I did at any point last year. Last year, at no point during both fixtures, home and away, did I feel like we were ever in control of the game. Did I ever feel like we were the better side for any portion of those games? You know, I felt like we were just sitting back and hoping for something to go our way. Whereas this year's different.
I'm going to be honest, mate. I think I'd be perfectly happy with a 2-2.
Yeah.
Oh, bite your hand off. If someone offered it to me now, I'd go, yep, take it. Done.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. But it's like what I said, going back to the whole form. You know, form goes out the window when you're playing, Derby. And
yeah. Anyway, Josh, you haven't told us your prediction yet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saving it to last because I'm going more towards Matt here. I'm going with a 3-1 Tottenham Hotspur.
Wow.
I have a feeling we're gonna win.
3 goals away at the Emirates.
3-1 at the Emirates, and I get.
I'm not gonna lie.
I know. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, mate. If Fulham can get 2 goals at the Emirates, there's no reason we can't get 3.
I feel like our whole game is based on that midfield, and obviously I'm not disrespecting Sarr at all. I'm just like I said, whatever I said about Sarr, but I feel like that midfield is better than Arsenal's midfield. Controversial, you guys can decide. But look, lads, I'm going with a 3-1 Tottenham Hotspur. Big game, North London derby. Hopefully you all subscribe to the channel. Make sure to subscribe to all the individual ones. Follow on Instagram. We're trying to hit that 16.5k on Instagram. Trying to hit that 2k on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe, comment, share, and comment down below your score prediction, and so we can see if you guys got ball knowledge or not. So Matt, thank you so much for joining. Josh, cheers for joining, and we will see you in the next video. Come on, Spurs.
We'll see you Sunday evening for the reaction to the North London derby.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it. Come on, you Spurs.